you can just get regular cheap cut, whatever. We got this one with bigger pieces just because it would look pretty for the TV, but normally you just get whatever. That's good.
We good there?
Yeah.
So you want to sear this. So high heat.
So you can see that we've only done about half of our portion because you don't, if you put it all in there at once, it won't brown very well. So we're going to do 2 sessions of browning the beef.
You should smell this. It smells better than, yeah. Smells pretty good.
And you can use the tongs if you want to.
Thank you.
Burn yourself. Any questions?
We have a question.
I have a question.
Okay.
This is Jessica Sienna, Dean Witte's favorite direct report. Who is working the camera?
Aha, Rose.
Rose has been delegated. Hello.
Oh, fantastic.
We're just going to do the next 25 minutes of Rose. She's been a good sport. We had a shift in camera personnel at the last moment, so she came in. And she knows all about, well, when do you start school?
October 1st.
So she's got a little bit time before she starts, but she'll be here with us doing Zooming the way that so many people are these days. I think this needs to be warmer.
Yeah, I just started.
Can I flip the others in?
No, we're gonna put those onto this plate. Once those are browned, so what we're looking for is browning on all sides. We're getting there. So in a minute or so, we'll pull those out and do the other.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
So this is Amy Field. It's good to see you guys.
Hello.
I'm a hopeless romantic, so I would really like to know, what was your first great meal together?
So where was it?
Well, I would say our first, I mean, we had lots of lovely meals along the way, but a memorable meal was on our honeymoon. We went to Maine, and we were on the first few nights we were in Kennebunkport area, Cape Porpoise, and we went to the White Barn Inn, which was our special night out, and that was a Michelin star restaurant, and we had never had that experience before, where just all the service, and they bring you little tastes of things, and the little amuse-bouche in between, and the little sorbet to cleanse your palate, all those things.
She can even say the words.
We've never had before, and for me, what was lovely was that somebody could come by and sweep up my little breadcrumbs, and I was like, oh, that's nice. So yeah, it was.
So that was the first world-class meal that we've had. And we got married in August, so we wanted to be somewhere cool. So Maine was beautiful, and the White Barn Inn was where we got our bug for food. I'm gonna make a quick switcheroo. Where's the rest of the meat? Where's the
Here. So just pull those out. So we're just gonna pull those out. I mean, ideally, you could probably brown them a little bit more, but just for time's sake, I've done it this way, it's fine. You don't have to.
I have a little question. How high is your heat when you're searing this?
We're
How
on
high?
we're on high on this pan.
Yeah, we probably didn't. The higher the better, because what you want is brown, and we probably undershot that. So.
Well, it's on high.
Okay.
Yeah. It kind of depends on the pan too.
Yeah, we made this earlier today. This is so that we'd have a prep batch when we're done. And what I found is, for some reason, the second batch is always browns better than the first.
But it's fine. It's all going to taste good no matter what. But don't worry.
I have a question, Dean Witte and Robin. This is Yvette.
Hey, Yvette.
Hi. How did you guys come to cooking? And as far as like, what kind of recipes do you enjoy making with your family?
Yeah, so I'm an orchestra brat, and my dad went to work at 8 o'clock. He played with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. And my mom was a music educator, so she was very often teaching lessons or working, you know, the last person in is the last person out of the house or out of the school building is always the string orchestra director or the band director. So dinner was, for me, always kind of stressful as a kid. Neither parent cooked very much or very well, and we sort of hustled with it in crunch fashion. So I didn't have meals like this growing up. But what Robin knew how to cook or learned how to cook after school, right? After high school.
No, well, my mom taught me along the way because my parents were both school teachers and worked full time. So mom was usually tired and didn't want to. Cooking wasn't her favorite thing in the world. So I started learning from her, and then she would be happy if I would take over a meal or two here and there. So I kind of learned a lot from her, and then yeah. So when we were together, I just like to cook and have people over.
If this were my cooking show, it'd be cereal and peanut butter toast. So, so we learned to do things like this together. Actually, in college, we met in Ann Arbor, and we just make some time, generally in the summer when we had time to cook a little bit because we weren't gigging, and it was fun.
That's how we're doing there. Okay.
So should we pull it out and?
Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. So what we can do is add this back in.
Okay.
We're going to add the rest of the beef that we already cooked in there. We're going to season it with salt and pepper. You can use regular salt. I'm using a little bit of kosher salt.
Oh.
And then we have the chopped onion. This is a medium chopped onion. I'm gonna dump that in. A little more salt and pepper.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I see, well, just a quick hello. I see Josh Porter there on the call. I just want to say hi to you, Josh. How you doing, sir?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be home.
We're going to send all this your way.
So this is the 4 tablespoons of flour. So we're just gonna coat the meat with that. And then just keep it on the high heat and stir for about 5 minutes and just kind of cook the flour off.
Can I ask another question?
Fire away.
If you're gluten-free, have you ever used potato flour, or do you think that would work?
I don't know.
We haven't, but that's a good question. I'm sure there must be options for that.
You stir for a second?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's getting a little warm.
Onions.
That
I need
happens.
my eye.
You know.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. So we're going to keep doing this. I thought, Peter, what I might do is do the thing about the rosemary, because we're going to add that in a minute. So one of the ingredients is a few tablespoons of fresh rosemary.
Pay attention. This is the thing that's green in this meal.
This is our vegetable. No. So I'll see if this actually, if I can do it again. But so to chop up your rosemary leaves, the easy way is just to, if you've got this long, stem here, is just to kind of pull down and pull the leaves right off the stem like that. So they just come right off, and then you throw that part away. Get a few off if you want. So this is an easy, quick chop that I thought we could do live, is to do that. So that looks like about 2 tablespoons. So just get all the yucky parts out, and just give that a chop. So what we're going to do is add the rosemary and stock and wine and some tomato paste here in a minute. So we need to,
Is that poured?
I will do that, or you can do that. I think you need a stirring break.
Okay, I'm gonna take a break.
Okay.
Peter, how many does this serve?
Well, this is, what, 6, 8 easy servings?
Well, it depends on who's in your family, but it definitely,
And this is 3 cups, right?
we've got 3 cups total of wine and 3 cups total of broth or stock. Yeah, I would say this would be definitely a good 6 servings. We're not quite ready yet.
So plenty.
Yeah. Plus, since we have the other pot in the oven.
Yeah, party at Witte's place.
So Peter, I have another question for you. This is Judy, your other favorite staff member. I imagine you've traveled the world performing and you've probably eaten some interesting food. Is there anything that's been a little bit like Bear Grylls style, a little crazy or weird that you've eaten?
Yeah, so I think in 2013 was my first trip to China. And let's see, where was I? I was first trip was in Beijing. And I was at the Beijing Conservatory and I did a brass master class. And the musicians on the call will understand this reference. Brass players are a rowdy bunch by nature. And this rowdiness, it turns out, is an international asset. So we went out for, I did my master class, I did the thing, we worked with some students. And then afterwards, they took us out for a meal. And we, pardon me, I can't think and talk at the same time. And so we, okay. So I think among the things that we ate there was a good bit of frog. And it was lovely. But I remember I was just eating, you know, it was a terrific thing on the, a terrific meal. But one of the things that I learned is I was eating and I said, oh, this is terrific. What is it? And one of the gentlemen who was a trombone faculty member there said, do you really want to know? And so I think that was probably the most ambitious meal that I've had was that time, both in Beijing and in Shanghai. Those would be the, but nothing too.
What was
radical.
it that you were eating?
I think that was just entire frog.
Oh.
Yeah, not the legs, just the whole bit.
So we've just added 3 cups of beef stock and 3 cups of wine. So the wine we're using, Burgundy, is actually, it's a Pinot Noir. So it's just, that's where it grows in France. So that's what we've done, but you can use any red wine. It doesn't have to be a fancy red wine. You can just put anything in there.
I'll stir you paste.
Okay, so we're doing 2 tablespoons of tomato paste.
So that was, well, we have it on the recipe. It was 3 and 3.
Yep.
And we bring this to a boil.
Yep. And we're going to add that bacon that we cooked at the beginning.
And then you eat edamame for the rest of the week.
Robin, I have a question for you. This is Jessie.
Hi, Jessie.
Hi. What's the first thing you bought with your own money?
Oh, okay. You mean like my own money once I was like professional in earning money, my own money.
Yes. And something kind of, you know, not toothpaste, but something a little more substantial.
Not toothpaste.
Not toothpaste. I'm going to say a futon.
Okay.
What does that mean? I don't know. I just needed furniture. I was in an apartment. And...
Oh, well, if that's the case, then it was cinder blocks.
Yeah.
Because that's of course what every graduate student uses for shoveling, right? To this day is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Milk crates.
Yeah, the first thing I bought with my own money. Actually, it might have been a nice bicycle. About 50 pounds ago, I used to ride my bike a good bit. And so I purchased a Cannondale aluminum frame and did a good bit of bike riding. That's a fun question.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, what did you buy with your money the first time?
Well, funny you should ask. The first thing I remember actually is I went to ABC Carpet in New York City. And if anyone's ever been there, it's this amazing place. And they just have carpet, rug over rug over rug. And these men come and pull each rug up so you can see what's underneath. And it's, it can go on for hours until you find the one you want. And I finally found the one I want. And I thought to myself, my mother would never have bought this rug. And I thought, there I am. Like, I have my own taste and I have my own expenses and that kind of thing. So I always remember that rug.
You still have it?
I do not, actually. I sold it to another Pacifican who still has it.
Awesome.
While we're waiting for the boiling process here, we're going to start the vegetables that come later. So normally when you make this, after you do this, you put it in the oven for several hours, and then you can do the veggie stuff. But in the interest of, we're not going to do that. We're going to start on the veggie. So I'm just going to turn it off. Saute the mushrooms. I turned the burner off so it's not there. It's good. And then let's take a look in there. It looks like it's starting to boil.
Mm. Zoom needs a scent feature. Not always, but for this.
I have another question, Dean Witte.
Yes, ma'am.
But again, what would be the best advice you can give someone who's starting out their career in music? And you too, Robin.
Even before this pandemic, record yourself. You're the only teacher you're stuck with for the rest of your life. So make certain that you're recording yourself really regularly. Get very comfortable with metronomes and tuners. And if you're a singer, find great coaches. And that's why I think recording oneself is so important for folks who are going to be performers. That's step one. Step two, be nice. It's a small world very quickly. So if you act like a diva, people will know that instantaneously. Number three, if you say you're going to do something, do it. There are some folk who will take gig one until such time as gig two comes along, and then suddenly they can't be there for gig one. That person doesn't get called for gig three. So I think being a good person is really important, and then learning how to listen to yourself critically are important pieces. And then learn how to teach as soon as possible. So, what I say to the folks who are at the conservatory is they should be working with the community music school, in part to help folks learn on their own instruments, younger folks or folks maybe who want to get back to an instrument or after their school age years. That's lovely, but it's also really vital that people learn how to teach because it just matters so much. I could do 6 hours on that, but I'll stop there.
And I will add, oh, yeah, we've got time because we got to, my answer to that question is, in addition to those were all good things, practice sight reading because your opportunities may come when somebody gets sick and you get called in. So be prepared, get as much experience as you can so that you're comfortable in all settings, and then be ready to go and put your head down and get the job done and show up and be nice, be on time, be courteous.
So
that will open doors for you.
There's some folks who are on the call who aren't musicians. Tell them what sight reading is.
Being able to look at a piece of music and to not have had time to look at it ahead of time. So you're sitting down in the orchestra and they've called you because so-and-so got sick and you are reading the music for the very first time on the performance. So that's something you can actually practice. So you can take your etude book or your excerpts or whatever and just sit down and do this with your teacher as well, so they can help you on strategies on how to get better at it. But practice, it's not something you can just do automatically. You should be able to sit down and do your best. And you might make mistakes, but how to keep going and stay in the game and just, okay, those few bars just went by, just fake it, and then, okay, we're on the fifth bar.
So Robin's really good at this, actually. She's a bit of a, well, it's my house, so I'll say it. She's a bit of a freak this way. She can read like the Dickens.
But that was because I did it for fun. So when I was bored as a pianist, I would just sit down and read through music just because I didn't know what else to do.
That was really smart. Yeah. So
we should pause for a second.
Okay.
It's time to
back to food.
Okay, why are we here? Okay, so we're gonna put, this was boiling, you put the lid on. Are you ready?
Yeah. Are you doing it?
Yep. Okay. 350.
3 hours. Okay, that's done.
I'm gonna let you do this one.
Okay.
No. So we're gonna put it here.
Where are we putting it?
Here.
Okay.
Okay. This
Presto changeo.
hopefully is ready.
I can't test it, so.
Moment of truth. I don't know.
Do you want to look over this way? Don't look.
Oh, okay.
Are we happy?
Good enough. Okay.
Okay. All right, ready?
Okay. I don't know. Okay. It's honestly, this is a good test. If it were me, I want it a little bit thicker than this. It's getting there. It's getting there. But usually I would have it cook maybe another half hour or so because it seems a little bit runnier than I normally would have. But it is what it is. We're going forward. So let's pretend it's beautiful and thick. So then, oh, here. We're gonna
Carrots.
put these in. I should have done that earlier.
Yeah.
So we're gonna blanch those carrots. It only takes 5 minutes. So these are julienne. I was just gonna, for the, whatever, when they say julienne, you're just cutting it on an angle to make it look fancier. It still tastes the same, it just, that's what I do. So that's a julienne carrot. So we blanch those for like maybe 5 minutes or so. These are done. So what we're gonna do is add all these veggies into this. I continue to put it on low heat and heating it through. Then we also have the pearl onions. These were just frozen ones that I thawed, and that's easy. So we'll wait for the carrots for a couple of minutes. Put that in and then we can plate it up. Am I forgetting anything?
Okay, I have a question while we're
Hey, Nick.
little moment. Hi, this is Nick. So this is pretty fancy. What if you were having pizza? Pineapple or no pineapple on a pizza?
Pineapple.
What? I've never used, okay, to be,
That's because we're happily married.
that would be a big no.
Yeah, I might be one of those guys.
But you don't order that here.
I don't.
Okay. And you, Nick?
Oh, yes, pineapple on a pizza.
Yeah. This is looking pretty good.
It's thickening up, actually. Because you're going to spoon it over the noodles. So just have to do the carrots and then
Do we just drop them in for the sake of good television?
We'll bring Brady in for a quick. Brady.
This is Brady getting frisky for the
Getting
for the
hungry.
meal. Sweetie, I'm gonna cross, so just stay put.
Okay. Brady, come here. Hi.
How old is Brady?
He is 9, almost 9. Yeah,
We'll go with 9.
he's 9. Okay, come this way so you can see hi. Oh,
Okay, that's it. He doesn't care about you anymore.
I guess we could have made him do something.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would have been good television there.
yeah.
The whole thing.
Oh, well.
So.
Okay, so you have the carrot.
I have an Ann Arbor question.
Uh-oh.
This is Mike Clocky.
Wait a minute, Mike. Who went to Michigan State?
Hey, what can I say? Hey, Zingerman's Deli. What was your go-to order when you would go there?
For me, it was a corned beef sandwich. I can't remember what number it was.
Mine was, I think it was, is there really one called Tomorski's?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tomorski's something or other, right? It was like,
Tell me who Tomorsky is.
you mean Liz
Yeah.
Tomorsky? Was it her father?
I don't know, but just tell me.
Oh, Liz Tomorsky was in Oboist, Michigan when I was there, a colleague of mine. And so there was a Tomorsky sandwich that was on there that was, I remembered it being turkey and avocado and.
So this will be heresy for Jesse Sienna, who's on the call, but there are people in the world who think that the best deli in America is at Zingerman's in Ann Arbor, and not Zabar's on the Upper West Side. And we can fight about that later, Jess. But it's a fantastic and horrendously overpriced deli.
Oh, that's good. What was your favorite sandwich then?
You know, I've had corned beef and I've had roast beef, but I tried to go to Ann Arbor very few times. It was a site of bad football memories.
Yeah. Well, not
anymore. Yeah, you guys have been doing great. So Mike, I think knows this, but my mom is a twin, and one of her sister. My mom went to Ann Arbor, and my aunt went to Michigan State. So we were always a house divided that way.
Okay. Interestingly, the beef is sort of broken apart. I think we can do a plating.
Okay.
Are we ready for that? So actually, that's one thing we need to grab out of here. Hi. Okay. And then, so we've already pre-cooked some pasta. We don't need to show the soup. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend you've made noodles at home.
Keith Hatchek has a question.
Hey, Keith.
Ask your question, Keith.
Fire away, Chief.
Maybe he doesn't have audio. Oh, there.
Is it appropriate for the chefs to be tasting wine during gourmet cooking?
I don't know, but it's my house.
I say absolutely.
Okay. So that is kind of the finished product.
Wow.
Yeah, so why don't you put that right here?
Okay. Here?
Sure.
Okay.
Ta-da!
That looks awesome. I can smell it.
Yeah, it smells pretty good. And so this is, obviously ridiculously hearty. So it would be, for us, it lasts a couple of days, and it's that old yarn about it being better the second day and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we make it occasionally, when it's a little cooler out.
Yeah, normally in the fall, later fall.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the show.
That was awesome. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Et à bientôt.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
spending a
very
little bit of time
much.
with us.
Huh?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bravo.
Cheers.
Thank you all. And if you're interested in saving the recipe, go to Microsoft Teams Pacific Recipes Group. Please join us on October 5th as Jean and Chris Callahan invite us into their new home during the exciting week of homecoming to show us how to make one of their all-time favorites, Stetson chopped salad, And for dessert from Chris's Italian side, a delizioso tortoni you'll want to make for your next holiday event. So for now, stay safe and healthy. Bon appetit.
Bye.
Thank you all. We're still here.
Oops.
Good show.
Thank you all.
Yay.
Signing off.
Oh. I can't hear you, Lenny.